There's 2 hours left to the exchange being open, and I wanted to make a quick guide on how to do the collection events. It doesn't look like the next I event is going to be a collection event. Also, side note, if you happen to hear anything in the background, it's possibly my dog snoring. I'm kind of stuck with them for the moment, so hopefully they won't make too much noise. So I saw that a lot of people are really confused on how to do the collection event. I'm shocked that I was able to rank as high as I did. I was in the top 1%. I was able to get the maxed out UR. I worked really hard to get it. I guess this event was really competitive. The big difference with collection events versus the regular events is the fact that you do not have a set list. You will be going through the live show tab in order to get the songs that you want to play. Typically, like if you see up in the left corner, right here, it says dance. That is the bonus that went on during this event. We had a dance bonus. So basically anything over here, along with anything over here, excluding this one is special. This is the event song. You're only able to play the event song when you have event tickets. This is the exchange. In order to get anything in this event, including story tickets, we now have story tickets in order to read the story for events, which I think, again, this is only for collection events. I don't think this is going to be how it is for regular events, but don't take my word for that, because it's possible that event story tickets may end up becoming a collectible item within regular events. But specifically for collection events, as of this moment, you can only get the event story tickets through collection events. Like normal events, will slowly unlock things as you rank up and get more event points. The difference is, instead of just getting those things when you immediately get that amount of points, you have to exchange these, which are the corsages. We don't know if they're going to change for the other events into different things. For this event, it's corsages, so for now I'm just going to refer to them as corsages. You will be exchanging corsages for the event items. You don't have to take these if you don't want to. Obviously, I didn't collect a decent amount of these. I only got a few things, and that's where I'm going to start talking about what I think is the best and worst things to get. I mean, none of these are too bad except for like these small gems. Don't get those. Unless like you've literally gotten everything else, don't get these. These just seem useless. EXP boosters aren't too bad. The big gems obviously are really good because you don't have to use like medals or anything to get them. The white gems are great too, especially if you're planning on 1%ing and you want to get a completely maxed out UR. Once you're done, skill orbs always great. You'll probably honestly get a bunch of those during the event, so I really would leave these ones for last. Medium EXP orbs also great. You will also get the UR and SR through the exchange as well. I'm pretty sure that they still have the same point amount, it's just that you also have to use corsages in order to get them. So the UR for this one was 12,000, or the SR, sorry. The UR was around 35,000, which is a lot. I'm pretty sure most people got this like the last day of the event. They were able to unlock the UR. K-Lab has said that I think they're going to make event points and corsages easier to get. Since this was the first time that we did it, they're going to try and balance it out a little bit more so it's less shitty. But these are also things that you can get. These are all the ones that I got, obviously. So when you're going through this, you're going to have points in which you're going to get LP and prisms. These are major. If you're really trying to tier, you need to get these. It's going to take a while to get to the SR and the UR, and originally my strategy was I'm hoarding my corsages until I get to the UR. That is not a very good strategy for this. It sounds really good on paper, but you slowly start to slow down with the amount of points you're getting as you get further and further into this event, and it makes buying the LP and the prisms very necessary. The way that I went about it was I basically got to the point where I had almost all of the LP unlocked except for like 2. So I basically collected the LP. I did make sure that I had a minimum amount of corsages in order to get the UR, just because in case I randomly got it and I wasn't prepared for it, I didn't want to like not be able to get it. This was my main goal, was to get the UR. So I collected the LP. Once I wasn't able to get any more LP, whether it be I was still barred off from it because I didn't have enough points, or because I collected all of them, I would move on to the prisms. These are important because if you are going to top tier, you want to get as much prisms as you can out of this event. This event really doesn't give a lot of prisms in my opinion. I don't really know the point or the prism amount compared to like the regular events versus this event, but I really don't feel like this event gives a lot of prisms. So having a lot of LP and prisms stored is pretty major if you want to tier in these events, especially if the boy that you're going for is pretty popular. We're expecting 2 eye events. We just got one announced, and he still is, throughout this event cycle, he still needs one more event UR, so I'm having a feeling that one of his events are going to be a collection event, which hopefully that won't be as bad as regular Apocalypse, but we don't know yet because we haven't seen it. But anyway, once you've collected all of the prisms, you're going to want to start getting the story passes. Now, one thing that I obviously missed over was the event song passes. These are going to be pretty much accessible to you. After you get the UR, you're going to have an endless supply of them, but until then, you're going to have like sporadic points in which you have them like placed within. They're all, I think, pretty much the same amount. Yeah, like they're all 5,000 corsages. Buy these. These are very useful, as the event song will give you a lot more event points and corsages, along with boost if you happen to have the person featured in the song within your team. These songs you're going to want to triple boost them, especially if you can't pro the song. I obviously couldn't pro this song. I tested it out to see if not full comboing it really did have an effect. It did for me personally. However, it's always good to check and see if it's more beneficial for you to try pro, and even if you don't get a full combo but you're getting more event points, do that. But if you notice that playing on hard gets you better event points compared to the pro and more efficient event points, then just play on hard, honestly. Normal and easy, you're gonna have a hard time. I don't know how hard. I haven't played on normal for a very long time now, but I'm pretty much like usually a hard player. I can pro some songs, very few but some. But now we're going to get into songs that you're going to want to play, because obviously you're not going to be able to play the event song as much as you would realistically like to. You're only going to have the event passes until they're used up, until you get the UR, and once you get past the UR, you basically have an unlimited amount of event tickets as long as you have the corsages needed to pay for them. But in order to get these, you obviously need to play regular songs. The big ones that people were being told to play were Poison Kiss and Triangle Beat. The reason being is that these are the 2 shortest songs in the game. And the most important part of the first and last portions of this event is getting the fastest amount of points and the largest amount of points as quickly as possible in order to tier. If I look at my player details right now, it's going to say that I've played Triangle Beat over 300 times, but there's also another song that I didn't mention that I played probably over 300 times, and that's not bad. YSI was the one that gave me the idea to play this song. She had said that she was getting a lot more event points by playing this song, I think mostly due to the fact that it had a little bit more notes than Triangle Beat in Poison Kiss. Also, this is one of the few songs I can full combo on pro. I ended up playing not bad for the rest of the event after I figured that out, and that was very efficient for me. So the biggest thing when playing this event is that you're going to have to experiment with some songs. I can link later a list of don't touch songs, basically songs that are way too long and you're not going to want to play them because they're going to take way too much time for you to play, and by the time that you're done playing, you're probably going to be dropped. Collection events are definitely a lot more strategic and a little bit more difficult. This is just how I played the event, and it could how I play the event versus how someone else plays the event might be very different. This is what was just successful for me and what I got out of this event. I saved a bunch of LP just to let you know. I had around 357 LP gifts saved, which was a variation of 50s and 30s. And I want to say I've gotten them from multiple events. I've gotten them from my daily logins. I was prepping for this event. I knew this event was coming, so I wanted to tier for it. By collecting all of the prisms, including the prisms that I had before this event, I started with around 1,000. I ended after receiving the LP gift of 300 with this much, pretty much. I only had like 450 something after the event, so I probably ripped through around 700 prisms in order to keep myself in the top 1%. My LP gifts, which were, like I said, 357 gifts, that ran out by Monday. The event ended Tuesday. So I started using my prisms by the end of Monday going into Tuesday. This event takes a lot of resources. I don't know if that's also to be said for regular events because this is the first time I've ever tried to tier. I really didn't have very good cards going into this. You know, I did what I could. I special lessoned as much as I could, skilled them up. I maxed all of their levels as much as I could in preparation for this event to try and make them slightly better. But the thing is that I really didn't have strong teams, but I still was able to do it simply because A, I was very dedicated to getting this card, and B, I had a lot of resources to pull from. And I think that's really important to note when trying to tier in one of these events, as I'm pretty sure it's very resource heavy. Another really important thing, this event was extremely competitive from what I know. It wasn't like Apocalypse levels but from what I've heard from veterans, this was a pretty competitive event. For a general overview of how I ended up going about this event, I'm typically a night owl. This event started at 12 a.m. my time. The first few hours of the event, I played for 5 hours and 20 minutes before going to bed for 7 hours, which was probably around 5 to 4 because I was really stressed about losing my rank. And then I woke up and I continued playing. I don't know how long I played after that, but that was a lot. Like I said, max I slept for 7 hours. Minimum I slept for 5. This was hard and it was really taxing and I was really tired. But I did it. Obviously, I didn't do amazing. I did pretty good. I also did, for the record, I wasn't always here. I hugged like 135 for most of this event because I really wanted to hold on to my resources for the final push. Whenever I was getting ready to pass out, and I knew that I would not be able to touch this game for 7 hours because I'd either be sleeping or stressing in my bed trying to sleep. I tried to push myself as deep into this rank as possible. Typically wanted to go to bed. People also seemed to be not playing as well, so I was able to get past that. I would typically go up at least 30 ranks before I would feel comfortable going to sleep. I would typically wake up near the cusp of rank 1, nearly falling, and then I would just play and get myself back up there. So I don't want you guys to think that I was here the whole time. I was not here the whole time. I was in like 135 most of the time. The final push for this event lasted for like 4 to 3 hours. It was really long and really stressful. At one point I ended up having like probably a 15 to 20 minute conversation with one of my roommates. I dropped like 15 to 20 ranks within that 15 to 20 minute conversation. So I basically lost a rank for like every minute I wasn't playing this game. Yeah, that's kind of just how I got through this first collection event. Obviously, this isn't like a set in stone, like this is how you do it. I'm sure there are definitely other people out there that are going to make guides that are going to be significantly better than mine. Mine is just sort of what I did and what worked for me. And I want to share that with people because, like I said, I noticed that a lot of people are really confused. So I hope I was at least a little bit hopeful. And good luck on the next event in the Apocalypse. I'm just going to be sitting back and gathering prisms and LP gifts and kind of watching the entire server explode. See you later.